Okay, so we are ready to order our website, our hosting account. So I recommend that you use a service called Siteground. There are a million different choices. One of the reasons I like these guys and I use them myself is A, their prices are fairly reasonable, and B, they seem to have fairly good support. If I've had any problems, I can usually get somebody on a support ticket or an email or something like that. And they do have, the thing I like the most is that it's really easy to get your site set up so that it has a secure website. So I'll explain what that is in a minute. But also they have some nice little bells and whistles in the back end that help speed up the site, which normally you'd have to do manually with other services. So the price difference is not big. I mean, it works out to be about $5.45 a month, I think. So we're on the home page and we're going to Managed WordPress Hosting and choose Get Started. Now we're setting up an account for a new client, Belinda Anderson, who is a real estate agent for Harcourts at Greater Port Macquarie. So I already have a domain name for her and know what we're going to do, and we're going to choose, we've got a choice of which plan we want. So we're going to choose the startup plan, which allows you to put together one website, 10 gigabytes of web storage space, which is massive, and about 10,000 visits monthly. If you think you might want to run more than one website, I would go to the next level up, because you can put unlimited websites on there. Now, it's not to say you could put 100 on there, because it would slow to a crawl and stop working, but you could certainly do 2, 3, or 4 or whatever. So I'm just going to choose the Get Started option, the startup one, get that plan, and we're going to register a new domain. And you have a choice of all of your normal sorts of ones. I'm going to go with a .com for this particular one, and Belinda wants her domain name to be Property by Belinda. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in here. Now, if you already have a domain name, you select the second option, and you will then need to follow the instructions they send you to make your domain name talk to this hosting account. This is beyond the scope of this training video, excuse me, for me to show you that. So I'm just going to stick with, we're choosing one from scratch. So we're going with Property by Belinda. Make sure it's spelt correctly. Make sure that the words don't combine to produce any weird and strange words, rude and otherwise. And we're going with a .com, and we're looking at $19.95 a year Australian, excluding GST. So in other words, there'll be another 10% on top of that. So we'll click Proceed. Now, as we go through each of these sections, I'll be blurring out so you don't get to see Belinda's personal information, obviously. So you'll just have to put up with that. So first thing we're going to do is set up her account information. She doesn't have an account, so we're going to put in an email address and choose a password for her. So I've got a screen to my right, and I'm just copy pasting all of this info in here, and you won't get to see it. And then a password, I'm going to go with something simple for now. Oop. Yes, we've got that. So I've got a password I've created. I'm just going to paste that in. You won't obviously see that, and we'll paste it again. Make sure you choose a long and complicated password. You need to maintain security on these sites. Do not choose password. Do not choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Do not choose password 1, 2, 3. Do not use your name. Do not use your birth date. You need to protect your security, so make it 10 or 12 characters long. No normal words, weird numbers and letters and all that kind of rubbish. Okay? So I'm now going to pause while I just fill out all of her client information as well. Now, if you have a business name and you have an ABN, I would encourage you to put that info in here. That will help you with claiming back some of the GST. Not that it's going to make a big difference with how cheap this service is. So the last thing we're going to do is put the payment information and then confirm our details. Obviously, I'm not going to show you all of the contact details, but as you can see, I've put all of that in there. So now we're going down to the purchase information. And this section is where we choose or confirm our plan and our data center. So Singapore is the closest location they have to Australia. So I would choose that one. That's going to be nice and fast there. and then you're looking at your hosting. So if you pay for 12 months, you get a discounted price. So they charge you a monthly fee in one shot for 12 months. So in other words, I think we're going to pay 12 times $4.95 plus GST. So in other words, in Australian dollars, it's going to be $59.40 plus GST. So notice their prices are quoted exclusive GST. Just be aware of that. If you choose 24 or 36, you get a small discount. It's probably not worth it. So extra services, we've chosen to register a domain, so we've got the price there. If you want to put $15 a year in extra, you can also protect your domain by putting some privacy information on that. To be honest, I didn't think to mention it to her, but I would probably not really bother with it at this stage. It does mean you'll get the odd phone call from some call center trying to sell you web hosting or web design services, but and then there's a security site scanner service, which is, yeah, it's up to you. For 24 bucks a year, it might be worth it. I haven't used it, but your choice. So the total is going to be $79.35 plus GST for a total of $87.28. So we've confirmed that we've read and agreed to the details, and we won't probably bother about subscribing Belinda to Siteground News and Special Offers, so we'll just click Pay Now and go for it. So it's a pretty easy process to do that, and you can have a site literally up and running within 2 to 5 minutes max, really. Once that's up and running, then we need to maybe go in and do a few setup things, which will take a little bit longer. So the order's been successfully submitted. Thanks for choosing SiteGround. Your account's been created. You'll also receive a welcome email with your username and password and account management guidance within the next hour. Hopefully it will come to us sooner than that, but we'll see. If you have any problems, you can use the live chat or a toll-free number for assistance. So I'm going to proceed to the customer area. So we are going to create a site. Migrating is when you've got a WordPress site hosted somewhere else and you want to quote-unquote migrate it to these guys. So we're going to create from scratch. You can have a bit of a look around here, see some information about some of the options, but let's just go straight into setting up our site. And we're doing a new website at propertybybelinda.com. And we're selecting WordPress, and you need to set up administration login details. So this is going to be your email address, and I would put your personal email address, not your office email address. If you're claiming this on tax and your personal tax, then you should be putting put your personal email address on all of this. So you put your personal email address, and we choose a password like we did before. Make sure that we choose a complicated, not easy to crack password. So I've already got some details for Belinda. I'm just going to copy paste that in there, and obviously I won't show you that. In terms of generating a password, I would probably recommend that you just click the generate button, because I'm sure that will produce something long and complicated with a minimum of 8 characters. So we'll see what happens when we use it. And I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it on a separate document, and all good, and choose continue. Okay, so they give you another option to add the site scanner and domain privacy, but at this stage we'll leave it at that. So we'll choose finish, and it's going to create our site. And literally, this is like the easiest thing to set up. You know, you don't have to be a computer propeller head geek type like me at all to do this. Just about anybody can follow the instructions. The only hard part is just figuring out a decent password, I think. So I'm going to pause it while it does its thing, and then I'll come back when it's finished. So interestingly, it's come back and told me site creation is taking longer than usual. You'll receive a confirmation email once the automatic installation is complete. In case that fails, a ticket will be posted to our support team to manually. So that's the first time I've seen that happen, but that's fine. They're probably overloaded with new clients at the moment, which is fine. So as far as the setup, that's all we need to do for now. So the next step will be getting hold of the confirmation email from them and logging into WordPress, and I'll show you how to do some basic updates on WordPress, how to install Gravity Forms, how to install your video user manual plugin, and a few other little bells and whistles, and we'll be done and dusted hopefully in less than 60 minutes. And it really is pretty easy to do. Alright, we'll come back to you soon.